The sustained growth of the economy will depend on maintaining a predictable, institutional and fiscal framework. André Trindade, Bank of Portugal. Portugal's finance minister urged policymakers and investors to be patient as the country tackles its burgeoning debt issue and sluggish economic growth. Do you think Portugal can get control of its debt?
First of all, let me say that these opinions are my own and do not reflect the views of Banco de Portugal. So, the size of indebtedness is particularly related to the high public debt level, whose reduction is one of the main challenges faced by the Portuguese economy. Answering your question, Portugal can get control of its current debt if its fiscal consolidation process continues, in particular through a more efficient use of public resources with a view to reducing public debt. But it's also important for the control of its future debt that in the upcoming recovery of public investment benefiting from the availability of additional funding at the European level, Portugal 2020, projects should be selected taking into account their impact on the growth potential of the economy.
The last GDP figures saw an increase of only 0.2% quarter-on-quarter for Q1 of 2016. The Bank of Portugal also lowered its forecast to 1.3%, lower than the market estimates of a 1.5% yearly growth. Do you see GDP figures beating the Bank of Portugal's estimates?
Bank of Portugal estimates are above the recent OECD estimates revision, 1.2, but below those made by IMF, 1.4, European Commission, 1.5, and by the Portuguese government, 1.8. According with Portuguese Parliamentary Technical Budget Support Unit, European Commission and the IMF have different profiles for GDP growth in 2016, with Brussels based on a more positive contribution of internal demand and with IMF based on the expectation of lower domestic demand.
Figures released today showed Portugal recorded a trade deficit of €708 million for April. This was significantly less than the previous month, which recorded a trade deficit of €1,046 million. Is this an indication that the Portugal economy may be on the mend?
It matters to contextualize those figures. That trade balance deficit for April is above January and February deficits records, but it corresponds to a decrease vis-à-vis April 2015 record. For Portugal beyond demand, and as was stressed yesterday in Bank of Portugal's economic bulletin, the sustained growth of the economy will depend on maintaining a predictable institutional and fiscal framework oriented to macroeconomic stability and pursuing structural reforms to encourage investment, innovation and mobility factors. On the other hand, it is necessary to ensure a sustained decrease of the public debt level and the adoption of policies that enhance the efficiency and stability of financial intermediation function.
Thank you, André Trindade. That's all from myself, Celeste Skinner. Make sure to tune in tomorrow to see what's affecting the Forex markets. Goodbye.